I am Kanan Ravichandran from Class 12th Innovators, and today in my Day with a Leader project, we have Acharya Venkat. He is the founder of Ashwa Gurukul, and I'll be taking an interview of him. So, what do you consider to be true leadership, or who do you consider to be a true leader?
Yeah, hi Kanan. So let me appreciate the initiative of trying to understand and interview leaders. So when I was of your age, or maybe I was doing my graduation, I was also very interested and was going out and meeting different leaders from different fields. So let me start uh, with what leadership is and what I understand about leadership. Um, so shall I give you a different perspectives of leadership rather than going in a traditional way, rather than going with the dictionary meaning. Let's explore.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, based on my experience and observation, the first leaders, whom we need to look upon is our parents.
Yeah.
So uh, we don't really look from that angle, from that perspective, but parents are our first leaders. So they have uh, all the leadership skills, but we don't look at from that angle. So probably you should go back and also interview your father and mother.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah. Let's put it in two ways. A leader is an individual and leadership is a quality. So there is an individual leadership which is called self leadership, and there is a leadership quality which is an external leadership. Now, self leadership is where you are leading your own ship, leading yourself, and when you are being chosen as a leader for a group of people or a team of people to lead them, then it is an external leadership where you have a group or a team to lead. Now, let's look at that. What are the important things a leader needs to have? So let's go to animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Let's understand, and we will come back to the human kingdom. So animal kingdom, if you see from the self leadership perspective, the tigers, if you take an example of tiger, the tiger doesn't lead, it leads itself. They don't stay in herds or groups, and so
Yeah.
it is a individual, or it has its own qualities where it leads itself. Whereas if you see elephants, or if you see those animals who live or stay in herds or groups, and if you see, let's say, deers, and if you see, so they live together, but there is no one leader as such. But if we want to take an example where someone is leading the group, and in the animal kingdom, we should take the example of wolf. Now the the natural way of selections of the leader in the wolf pack is the pack chooses the leader based on the qualities, and based not on any other choices. We'll come back to that when we're discussing human, but they naturally choose, maybe based on the strength, maybe based on the quality that they would take care of the pack, and based on the conviction and the nature. It's their nature to choose. Now, if you see that how they lead, the leader, the wolf, in the wolf pack, the leader wolf is not in front but is in the back. So they maintain a system which is natural system.
It's like the backbone of the group.
Yeah, so it leads not from the front, from the back.
Yeah.
But it is actually leading from the front. But the way they have structured and what we can learn a leadership lesson from that is, so they have the strong ones in the front, then they have the older ones, then they have the the family, the mothers, and the baby wolf, and then comes the strongest again, and then comes the leader. So that's how the structure is. So that's what we can learn from the wolf and the animal family, animal kingdom. So once we come to human, it's important for us to understand that leadership is. So let's go with that traditional question of, are leaders born or are leaders made? You would have heard about it.
Yeah.
Are leaders born or are leaders made? What do you think?
I think that leaders are made.
Okay. So I also believe that leaders are made. All of us are born leaders.
Everyone has the potential.
Everyone has the potential. Everyone has the qualities. Everybody has the talent. We just have to nurture those talents, nurture their potentials, and when the opportunity comes, those qualities are. So that's very important.
Yeah.
So those who have that natural talent or skills, maybe they flourish by themselves. They just get an opportunity and just become a leader, and then we just believe that they are the leaders. But what about the rest of us who has the potential, which never got out or never was nurtured or never was given an opportunity? So that's where this leadership programs or leadership training programs are there to bring that potential out, so that everyone can maximize and everybody can bring out the best through those potential. Can everybody be the leader? The question is, out of 10, again we have to go back to the animal kingdom and probably take the example of the wolf, and not look at from the perspective of leader in a different. Let's say, take an example of a political leader. So he has become a leader of a party, and the party or the people have chosen them for some particular reasons. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Now let's discuss an unbiased leadership, which is a natural talent and natural aspect, not based on the liking of someone or liking of somebody and then choose a leader. So we have leaders in sports, we have leaders in industry, we have leaders in let's say corporate, we have leaders in the different fields have got different leaders. Now we have global leaders. What do they do? What are those qualities which are very important? Let's take an example of our kings who were also leaders. Now let's take an example of Shivaji. And we can take any example, but I am taking an example of Shivaji and example of Vivekananda and example of the modern leaders, or modern. Let's take an example of someone from who leads the country, be it anybody, our prime minister who leads the country. Now there are certain qualities which are important for them to lead. So let's take a perspective of, there's no good or bad leader. I feel that leadership is true or false.
Yeah.
So, or we can take that reference also, good or bad. But what happens is that someone who leads their own life, self-leadership, with these qualities, and then they make their journey with these qualities, and then they go through a proper true way, and someone who has those qualities but they are choosing a false way, and someone who leads a group of people to a right direction and to a destination with following all the qualities, and someone who does take them in a wrong direction. So there is a difference between leadership also. So I think that leadership is also a lot of qualities which you need to learn as you make this journey. And it's all about, see, leadership is not what you call a framework where you follow and you become a leader. It's about change, it's about adaptation, it's about continuous learning. So a leader who is, let's say, you take an example of a company, and leader who leads a group of people or group of a company, he changes his company and goes to a new place, and he becomes the leader there, and there is a entirely different culture and entirely different people. The leadership qualities remains the same, but he might have to do some adaptations and some enhancements, some change, improve his understanding, and then try to lead.
So leader should be adaptable to
Absolutely.
conditions.
Leader has to be adaptable. Leader has to change as per the requirements. And we all now look at your parents. So let's look at the parents, how they have adapted, how they have changed, how they have evolved. So an individual has, all of us has a potential to become a leader. Now someone who is at a position considering them only as a leader, and let's change that perspective. So leadership is in action everywhere. All the individuals, all of us are in action. So all those qualities, we are in action. Yeah, someone who is at a very high position, like Prime Minister, who is leading the entire party and their group and the country, they have huge responsibility on them to see that they have a balanced approach towards and one of the best quality a leader should have, as we were discussing before, is the ability to manage a diverse group. Is the ability, and when they can do that, when they are having a self leadership. So self leadership becomes an important aspect.
So what if a person, he only has self leadership, he doesn't lead a group of people, he only leads himself? Would you say he's utilizing his potential, because each person is born with some potential to become a leader?
Yeah, so if he is good in his self leadership and he is managing his life properly, he is managing his journey properly, but he is put in a situation where he has now been chosen to lead a group of people, maybe out of choice, or maybe he doesn't have any choice, then probably to lead others there needs to be some different qualities than leading your. Yes.
So as a leader yourself, what is the best piece of advice you can give to future leaders who might be watching this video right now?
Okay, that's a little very important question, because leaderships and leaders have changed their own, they have their own different personalities. But in today's generation, one very important thing is that one quality which probably the younger generation needs to develop is peace. Now, once you adopt that quality and you try to lead the team through, there will be less conflicts.
Yeah.
So, if you go with traditional leadership definition, which is available, a lot of material is available. There are different kinds of leadership styles. So we're not talking about styles here, and there is something called natural, style. So we have to go with our natural style. What our heart says, not the mind says.
Yeah.
So we're not getting into a discussion or an argument of that what works, what not works, what style doesn't work. There are so many assessments, we have to go through that. But there are so many different leadership programs which are available. and very young you need to develop.
So the younger you learn and develop these qualities, the better it is for you to really go and practice them. So one thing is that, another thing is in AI world, artificial intelligence has taken over, and the human intervention and communication has come down. So we are communicating through the technology more, probably with the phone or WhatsApp or the communication means have changed. So do definitely the leadership style will change. But everything remains the same. The qualities remain the same. The challenges probably will be little different. But again, we need to go back to the. I would suggest to go back to the wolf pack leadership style and then try to learn. And because natural leadership is the best leadership. And peace is one thing which is very important. Apart from those leadership styles and then trying to achieve the target and goals, but overall, this is very very important. So, and this generation. I think they are the best generation. They are the best opportunity, and then they are doing very good in terms of. Still, I think there's a lot of work to be done, and so service is very important. So all the leaders, the future leaders, need to have this service, peace, and going forward, coming from the mental health perspective, mindfulness is very very important. All the leaders should have this thing. We need to adopt, we need to learn. And one thing is that what in general is happening is that we need to be united. Somewhere again that thing is coming where we are getting divided. So I think that unity is very, very important. So as a leader of a movement, you must be very busy all the time. So how does your typical day and work look like for you? Okay. See, our our system is really different because we also focus on the self-leadership. So I spend a lot of time. I wake up, I do my regular practices. I spend at least 2 hours on trying to spend time with myself every day. Meditation. It's meditation. Trying to do. So I wake up a little early, very early. Probably I every day I wake up. Probably if I'm tired, then I may go back to sleep. But I wake up very early and I spend a lot of time. Then our kind of work is so Ashwa Uni Life is something to do with personality, education, mind. So we have divided our work in 4 verticals. So we take care of the education part, then we have sports and entertainment, then we have wellness, and then we have the retreat programs which we do. So we sometimes are in some school trying to interact with youth and youngsters, trying to share all these qualities which are required from probably I have my own clients. So, and if then in the evening we have children coming over and then we do this mentoring program, then one we do this. Our day is very dynamic. So we have to we spend time in trying to design the program, in trying to change the program, in trying to dealing with students and trying to share the knowledge. So that's why if on a leisure day we don't have that many programs or work, I personally sit back and try to write some articles. I'm very interested in writing books. So I'm writing another 2 or 3 books parallelly, trying to put the ideas and trying to discuss. We all our team sit and then we eat together. We discuss a lot of. We're not very corporate kind of a setup. We have a small team, and each one of us probably we spend time together to improve ourselves. So that self-leadership thing, we all discuss, we all eat together, we all sit together, and there is no formal thing. You can see, you can sit anywhere and work. You can do whatever you want, but the kind of leadership you exhibit is that the work needs to be done. That's important.
Is a person, if a person is really kind of lenient towards his subordinates or like lets them be really free when do whatever they want. Or it's kind of they're basically just a group of friends. So would you call that person a good leader? Or does a leader need to be assertive and dominating?
See, there is a difference. Even if you look at your friends, and if you're 5 or 6 friends hanging out, going out, you will find that there is one who will lead.
Yeah.
There is one person who will lead. That's a natural leadership. Now, if you are going to a tour, so do you think it will be very casual? Isn't there someone who is leading that group? And even if you are diverting, so they are going, bringing you all back and saying that, see, this is what we have to do and this is what we have come for. So there will be that leader who will come out. That's called a natural leadership, where all these things are not observed. Yeah. So probably after this discussion, I will take you out on the road. There are a lot of people who are displaying leadership qualities. Yeah. We are not observing. We are only looking leadership from a setup point of view or a form where there is no doubt about that. We are little trying to move from the traditional leadership where if we follow those structure, there is success. We are also looking at non-traditional where we don't really look into these small things where the leadership qualities are being exhibited. So in a professional setup, you are supposed to behave in a particular way, whether you like it or not, because that's how the professional setup is. And you know, and a leader knows his boundaries. A leader knows his qualities, and a leader. So that's where the self-leadership comes into the picture. So you are doing your leadership internally, and you are also doing your leadership, showing the leadership qualities externally. A leader knows how to balance.
Yeah.
So there is nothing called lenience. That's where the self-leadership concept comes in. That we know where to, and we need to learn these qualities. And that's where the leaders, we need more and more leaders who be made. Once they go through this process, they are born. That way we can say the leaders are born.
Yeah.
And if you look at sports, if you look at in India, we are very, very, very fond of cricket. Let's take an example of cricket. We have different leaders. Now there is no so different people have different leadership style. So we have to learn and adapt and see that what good leadership style, and then you will have your own natural leadership.
Yeah.
So that's where we need to identify that.
So there is no good leadership style or bad leadership style. Everyone has their own difference.
Yeah, everyone has got different leadership style. Probably if you go back and do this little searching on that. And then there are all different leadership styles, and you can go through that assessment and find out that which framework you fall in.
Yeah.
Are you autocratic leader, or are you servant leadership is what these days lot of people are talking about. Or you are a leader who is very good with having very good communication. So there are different styles. So you can go.
Mention different.
Yeah, so you can go through different leadership styles.
Yeah.
and adopt and see that once you are getting an opportunity, you go and exhibit that in your day-to-day life. These are the qualities. Now, if you go with the definition of the dictionary, there is a definition for a leadership. That is the framework we all national leadership and leadership qualities you know go up to change. That's very, very important. I hope that our discussion is very informative. Okay, thank you very much, and I appreciate youngster you and taking initiative and trying to go and learn things. So there are different leaders. There are wonderful leaders, and you are also a wonderful leader. Thank you.